I'm okay. I just smoked another to the face, yeah. She wanna stay. Singing to your bitch like I was Drake, yeah.
Don't just try to tell me you love me. Can't keep it real if you really don't trust me. Come with a real, you here up in the front, so you get my meals. I'm gunning for the money in the bank. Coming with a dank, scrolling in the tank, rolling with the gang. You sick and I on the sideline tripping. I go to the hole with the rock like Pippin.
Yeah. I'm okay.
What up, though? Welcome to World Heavyweights Live at WoodSports.com. I'm Eazy, joined by Spimo Rax.
Hello.
Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, a.k.a. Microwave Nick.
Let's go.
Caleb the Colorblind. Smash that like button. Be a friend. Tell a friend. Share the stream.
Share it.
If you were wondering, yes, we did partake in Smash Mouth. I'll send a video at some point.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have partaken.
Yeah, Speed's back is not great, but your neck now.
Not great, Bob. Yeah, it's my neck. I had a girl crack my back over the weekend, and it actually helped my back a lot. Like, my back doesn't hurt really that much anymore, but my neck is still pretty.
Did you get your neck massaged again? Because did you say that helped your neck?
No, I didn't. I'm going to on Wednesday, though.
Do that. Do it. Do you guys know chiropractics? Or what do you call them?
Chiropractors?
Yeah. Chiropractors. Thank you, chiropractics. It's not like an actual like medicine. It's like a.
No, it's
like all theories.
witchcraft.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah.
People go to like routine.
Yeah. And they do it so, like, you have to come back in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Like, they finagle your shit so it feels better for a little bit, and then you got to come back in a week or two.
That's what I heard. It's all big money grabs.
Sketchy.
So is everything else
sketchy.
in life, I guess. Speaking of sketchy, they let you interview a bunch of celebrities today, huh?
Yeah, extremely sketchy.
Yeah,
It was fun. Donnie Wahlberg, his brother Jim Wahlberg. Mark was not able to attend today, but that's all good. We got Johnny Damon was a lot of fun.
That's dope.
And then we got some TJ Lane clips that we're gonna be sprinkling in throughout the show, which I'm excited to show you guys. He had a lot of good insight on this Detroit Lions team.
Yeah, you're telling me some of the questions you asked them. Actually, they're really good. I like the offensive line stuff.
Appreciate it.
Especially from a guy like him, right? We joked about it, Caleb, about Juju just going right back to the Chiefs. The Chiefs just get another wide receiver to help them get that third Super Bowl for nothing, and then it actually happened.
Yeah, I mean, that you give Mahomes as many weapons as the Chiefs have gotten him this offseason, it's looking like he's en route to another MVP, in my opinion.
I don't hate it.
I do not hate that either.
I mean, I don't know. I do hate it and I don't. Because I get it. It comes with the territory. Like, once you have like that much success, we're seeing it happen with the Detroit Lions too. Like, Kevin Zeitler came to Detroit for the opportunity Detroit presented. We had Matthew Betts, who had other opportunities to go play elsewhere. We don't know if he made the team or not, but we got breaking news on that, by the way, too. He wanted to come to Detroit because, we present other opportunities other places didn't necessarily have. Like, it just comes with territory, and the Chiefs just – I mean, Patrick Mahomes deserves it. He's out cold.
Yeah.
I can't lie. Do you expect him to remain on the team? Or do you think he gets cut at some point?
Who, Juju?
Yeah.
No, he'll stay on the team.
He stays on the team?
Yeah. They'll cut Kadarius Toney before they cut Juju.
I feel that. I mean, some receivers get cut. Speaking of receivers getting cut, DPJ, Donovan Peoples Jones, it's official.
So is Caden Davis.
Caden Davis gone as well. He is no longer with the Detroit Lions. Released. I didn't have him on my 53 that I mocked up there, but I did last week. I felt like it was, I don't know, man. You heard Dan Campbell talk about it again today, just the size. Like, sometimes, yeah, you do feel a bit small, and you would like some of that size, especially in the red zone, even outside of the red zone, but we don't have any of it. They're going to acquire it some way, somehow, Spinny.
Yeah, they're gonna find somebody. They're gonna wait for cuts to happen, wide receivers to be let go from other teams, and go after somebody there. But yeah, Donovan Peoples-Jones did not do enough to make this team. Donovan Peoples-Jones did not do enough to be a part of this organization going forward, and that's on him. He had it all. He had the pedigree. He had the experience already being in this organization and on this team for a handful of games to end the year last year, and he just completely fell off. It sucks because you like to see a Detroit guy be on the Lions when they're back to, or when they're finally going to be an actual contender for a Super Bowl, but that's not the way the cookie crumbles. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Caden Davis, Shane Zylstra also.
Yeah,
cut by the Detroit Lions.
I do expect Shane Zylstra to make it back to the 69, no pun intended. Like, he
nice.
probably makes the practice squad. Which I appreciate Dan Campbell. I don't appreciate him because I don't play for the team, but I respect him. And you just tell, like, what type of players coach he is when he speaks of it as a 69 because there's 16 guys in that practice squad. And he's like, you're going to play. You're going to get called up. It's the reality of the NFL. Like, we're going to need you at some point. But that's how he presents it to these guys rather than like, I mean, just, I don't know, lightens the blow a little bit, you know? And we've had guys make it from the practice squad to the roster as like a regular. And Craig Reynolds is one of those guys, too.
Yeah.
Zylstra was once upon a time. I expect him to be back on.
James Houston.
Yeah, great point.
Yeah, with the departure of DPJ, this was actually just reported. The Broncos are looking to, trade Tim Patrick. Is that a name, you guys?
Yes.
He's 30 years old, coming off an Achilles tear and an ACL tear.
Yeah.
But he is 6'4". He is 6'4" when he is healthy. He is 30 years old. I mean, that's 3 downsides I just gave you. But he is good when healthy, and he's 6'4". Is that a name you'd like to see Brad Holmes bring in?
Absolutely.
He'd be really cheap, I think.
Absolutely. I think, and I may be a little bit biased, and I always pick on Spinney for being biased in this form or fashion, but like when you have a fantasy sweetheart that you just fall in love with, sometimes it bleeds into like your takes. I'm that way with Tim Patrick. But he actually put on for a minute, like, and you're only asking him to be wide receiver 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just need a bigger body guy. I think Tim Patrick, if he, at least bring him in. Like, Juju, I brought the stuff. Obviously, he had the injury history, maybe not performing like he did. Like, last year's numbers were atrocious. But it's like, okay, well, you can still probably bring him in. That's how I feel about Tim Patrick. Let's find out.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt to find out.
I mean, sure. Would I give up anything for him? No. I'm not going to trade for Tim Patrick. No. If he gets cut, I wouldn't mind them taking a crack at him. But
I'm even thinking of him as like getting, cut. That's what I think is going to happen. Jesus, well. Lay Jane?
Yeah. But, Tim Patrick, no, I'm not trading for him. Obviously, he's can't stay healthy. He's dealt with some serious injuries. So that's never good, especially when you're at 30, which, those years start coming by pretty harsher when you're a wide receiver in the NFL.
Start coming and they don't stop
and they
coming.
don't stop coming, So if he doesn't have an Achilles, he can't even hit the ground running. So, it makes sense not to live for fun, but I hope his brain gets smart and his head gets dumb.
So much to do, so much to see.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not really wrong taking the back streets.
You
But you'll never know if you don't go. Well, Watto. And, he could be a star, but he'll never shine if he doesn't glow. So he's got to get out there first. He's got to prove that he's healthy. Not trading for him. Not even thinking about that.
Yeah, let me reel back on the trade. I was more thinking of it as like him getting cut.
Yeah. I mean, if they're already out, saying they're looking to trade him, he's definitely a cut candidate for him.
Exactly. Like, I don't know who's going to trade for. I'm looking at stats right now. 2021 was his last active year. And, he was quite active, 700-plus yards, 5 touchdowns. Same thing the previous year, but that's 2021. That's 3 years ago now. It's
a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean, I wish the best for him. Like I said, he's a fantasy sweetheart of mine. But, yeah, I'm not trading for him. But I'd definitely love to acquire him in free agency.
Yeah,
And some of this could be, and I've talked about this before, but I kind of like refreshed it with Dion yesterday. We did a stream on his show or his channel, and I just talked about how like Josh Reynolds really was like your wide receiver too.
He was,
and J-Mo's like filling in that place. So it's like, I don't know. It's just the beauty of having this good of a team, man. It's really just all depth we're looking for.
Yeah, and we've talked about how the wide receiver 3 in this offense would be the 5th receiving option on any given play because you've got obviously Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then you have a back out of the backfield and Sam Laporta who would all be ahead of the wide receiver 3 in this offense. So it's not this crucial part of your team that you need to be filled or nothing's going to happen. But, like, if you have an injury, then it starts to get real tight because this is by far the least depth the Lions have at any position on their team, and it's at the wide receiver spot. So hopefully, Khalif Raymond's ready to go, and we'll see. I love J-Mo, and I know, there's some people that are still doubting, but, when you see his face, and then you can become a believer. And I'm just excited to see him go out there and shine this year. I would like to see them grab somebody, and I'm sure they will. We still got to wait for cuts.
Speaking of grabbing somebody, John Mechie, I guess teams are getting interested in as well. And we know that the Texans have a stacked wide receiver room. We talked about that briefly last week.
I want it.
Anybody got a different opinion now that Caden Davis and DBJ are officially off the roster?
I would take Mechie in a heartbeat, to be honest. I liked his game a lot coming out of Alabama.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. I think I did this the other day too. Go ahead, Nick.
I wonder what it would take, though. I mean, you think about moves that Brad Holmes has made, and that's trading a 6th-round pick for DPJ. That one didn't work out. He traded a 5th and a 7th for Trinity Benson and a 6th-rounder. those didn't really work out. Obviously, Mechie's a better player than those two guys, I would think, but we also had high hopes for DPJ. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to take a shot on Mechie, though, if we're going to continue to take shots.
Yeah, I'm looking at his splits right now, too. I may have brought this up last week, but he's only in the slot 44% of the time. So he can line up wide, and he's actually lining up out wide more than he is in that slot, 55%. So that can coincide with Amon-Ra St. Brown if you let him live in the slot, too. So, yeah, why not? John Mechie. Let me pull up his stats, though.
Cancer survivor.
Shout out.
He's got grit.
Bama boy.
He really does got grit.
Fits the motto, you know.
Dealt with an injury.
Dealt with an injury. Played at Alabama. Those are two things that get Brad Holmes' gears turning like nothing else. So
His numbers aren't super great.
I mean, he had cancer. Like I don't expect.
I know, but he came back though
was
from
foot
cancer,
cancer.
and he played with Stroud last year. He had 30 targets, 16 receptions, 158 yards, and no touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he was wide receiver 4 on that team. Buried under that lineup, behind Tank Dell, Tutu Atwell, even Noah Brown and Nico Collins,
I thought Tutu Atwell's in
and Dalton Schultz.
LA.
Oh yeah, he was.
But I'm just looking at the 30 targets, 16 catches, because it's not like Stroud's a scrub by any means.
Yeah.
I'm saying Stroud's probably,
See how many of those were drops. I mean, I'm sure.
How many games?
I'm sure a majority of them were deep shots.
16 games, none started. So he was available the entire season, just didn't really get on the field much. But I'm just looking at that 50% clip, like catching the ball. That's the job, right?
Zay says the DPJ slappies don't know ball. Yeah, I never understood the DPJ slappiness. I mean, I was excited
It's the Michigan fans.
to see him make the team, hopefully. But when I was watching him in camp and in preseason, there's nothing you could say that would, like, excuse the performances that he was having. He looked lethargic. He looked like he didn't want to be there.
Never snapped out of it.
He just, I don't know, he just didn't look like he was trying to make the team. And he didn't have, it looked like he wasn't playing with a sense of urgency. I don't know if that was because he felt like he was shooing to make this roster or it's just not in him like that. But it was disappointing because I expected him to be a part of this team. I expected him to be a guy that could fill in that Josh Reynolds role because we've seen him do it in the NFL before. And he, like I said, is one of the most athletic players on this team.
Before.
Yeah, but, if you're not out there giving your 125% every single snap, Dan Campbell's not gonna stick around and let that shit happen. So
He looked like aliens came down to enslave the human race and challenged him to a basketball game. And in fact, got his powers absorbed from
did they
him.
enslave the human race or the Toons? I think it was the Toons.
It was the Toons.
Yeah. Same thing.
Yeah.
Lola Buddy could get it either way.
Yes, she could.
Not the new one. They took away her big naturals.
Yeah, that's a goddamn shame, Spenny. But one thing about DPJ is you were always just waiting on it, and that's what his whole entire career was like at Michigan in my eyes as a Michigan fan. I watched every single game, and DPJ, you were always waiting for him to take the next step, and he just couldn't do it. He has all the natural ability, but could never put it together. I'm actually really surprised that this coaching staff specifically wasn't able to get the most out of him. It's got to be a DPJ thing at this point.
It has to be. It
Yeah,
has to be.
absolutely
And,
is.
I mean, I wish the best for him. Like I said, Detroit guy, he played at Caz Tech.
He was like the #1 player in the country.
Yeah, he was insane. And even though that he's a Michigan guy, I still want the best out of anybody that's from Detroit and from Michigan. So I hope that this is a wake-up call for him and he, shakes it off and actually goes out there and starts playing football like he's never played in the NFL before, because that's how you got to be if you want to stay in this league, is you have to go out there and attack every day like it's your first day. So I don't know, man.
What?
I expected him to do something, and he just was flat every time we saw him out there, whether it was at camp or in the preseason. He just looked unenthused, looked like he wasn't trying to make the roster, and that's what happened. If you don't try to make the roster, you're not going to make the roster.
What do you guys think Brad's going to do? I mean, I guess up against it. Let's go to break, come back. So I'm really curious, just like we could bet it if you like, but what do you think happens? Because it's got to be addressed at some point. There's nobody just rostering 4 receivers.
Exactly, and Triple Nickel says, who's the bigger letdown, DPJ or James Houston? And I think it's
DPJ, I don't
easily.
think it's close.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right there with you.
Caleb, you were kind of high on DPJ heading in. Like, we had to talk you out of it a little bit there.
Yeah, basically for the same reasons Nick said, because Spenny brought up, like, this guy was, great in high school, #1 player coming out, and went to Michigan, and I kind of thought it was like he was like a product of, like, the Michigan offense, like, not throwing the ball and stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got to the NFL and just never worked out.
He is what we thought he was. That's about Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness is fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. More than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. I'm going to make my triumphant return today. We'll see how that goes. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Full body workout in 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You can get all of that and upgrade to more with the Black Card and get use of amenities like hydro massage, total body enhancement, massage chairs, all that good stuff. Planet Fitness. Join today by walking in or going to planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home?
Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law have your back. With 24/7 availability and 10+ years of experience, they can get you the best services you need to help you with any type of family law issue, whether it's visitation, child custody, and or divorce. It's Kevin and Catherine right here in Birmingham, Michigan. If you tell them Heavyweight sent you, they will pay for your filing fee. Just scan the QR code above my head or dial 248-971-0476. What up, though? Welcome back to the Heavyweights Live at WoodSports.com. I'm joined by Spinmore Raxter, Chris, Nicholas Kohloff.
Let's go.
Caleb the Colorblind. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, share the stream. Some other positive news. Actually, we kind of got into it. What's going to happen at wide receiver 3? Does Brett Holmes sign somebody that ends up getting cut, or do we make a trade for somebody that's going to continue to help the Super Bowl push?
I think he's going to grab somebody off of the cut list. We've seen him do it before. We saw him do it with Josh Reynolds. We saw him do it with a guy like John Kaminsky.
Yeah.
You know, one man's trash is Brad Holmes' treasure. So I'm sure he's going to find somebody that if Martavis Bryant gets cut, I would grab him. He was looking pretty good last night. We'll see. There's going to be a plethora of wide receivers that get cut, so I'm sure he'll be able to find somebody that he likes that fits the system and fits what the Lions need.
Yeah, one thing I say about Josh Reynolds the first round, I believe that was like a waiver, so we had first access because we were asked at that time, but we'll grab somebody. I think I'm with you, though. I think they end up just signing somebody that departs from another team just because the option to trade will almost kind of always be there, you know? In fact, you might have more options open up to you throughout the season when you hit that deadline. Some teams, the year's not looking like how they wanted to. Maybe, the firing cycle of head coaches, maybe those guys on their way out, and the teams want to start up fresh, and there's, get rid of everybody. So I'm with you. I think it happens in either sign now, trade later. Chris?
Yeah. That's exactly where I'm at with it. I think it's both, and the answer is, the signing is now, and then the trading is later, whether it be a wide receiver, whether it be an edge rusher, because we'll get to it later, but with Houston, there's still uncertainty. So I really wonder where they're going to go, but they're going to hold their chips, their trade assets that they have for the deadline, because at that point in the season, you're halfway through the season, you've passed your bye week, you know the health of your team, the general health of your team, the general strengths and weaknesses. So you're waiting till then. For now, he can pick somebody up, give them a chance, see if they integrate themselves well in the first couple weeks, and then if not, then reapproach that problem at the deadline. If it's a problem, like I said, again, it's a fifth receiver at the end of the day we're looking at. It might not even really need to be a problem.
Yeah, it's
They have Denver Broncos waived Tim Patrick.
Just waived him.
Yeah.
There you go. Bring him in.
Bring him home.
Bring him home. I think at the deadline too, you're just more informed at that point too, as Chris said. Like you should know what's going on.
There was a wide receiver in town today. He was at the event. Josh Gordon.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was. Jesus interviewed him, but
Yeah.
no, he's probably not ever coming back. But hey, he was a hell of a player for a bit.
Bro, he had a Calvin-esque like
God, dude,
it was
his peak
insane.
was nuts.
His peak was
It was
like the
insane.
best wide receiver of all time.
Dude, I remember because like at the time we had Calvin, I was like, there's no way they just got a Calvin.
They just got
2.0.
another one.
Yeah. Well, honestly, probably a little bit faster.
He was insane.
Josh Gordon, man.
Shout out Dispo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay off.
Stay off the weed.
I feel so bad for the guy, man.
Yeah, I felt. Yeah.
How fucking stupid.
I mean, you
Ridiculous.
feel bad for him. That's on him.
Yeah, but like also, come on. It's weed.
Did he get caught drinking in rehab or some shit too? Like he was doing a bunch of dumb shit. I think. I mean, it sucks, but I don't really feel bad for him. But moving on, Detroit Lions. If you guys missed it, they waived Shane Zylstra. They waived DPJ.
Rashad Wild Goose.
Wild Goose gone.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell's having fun with that one. At
The goose is loose, man.
Yeah, I thought we just gotta send that guy on a blitz. It's,
Yeah.
it's in his nature.
The goose is loose.
Zylstra, DPJ, the redhead. I can't think of his name. That's really bad.
Caden Davis.
Thank you. Caden Davis, Zonovan Knight, and as Smitty just said, Wild Goose too. We'll keep you guys up to date on that throughout the show. But in some positive news, some guys in the Detroit Lions are getting back. Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, and one DJ Reader, who's not going to be on the PUP list to start the season, meaning he may be eligible to play. He's definitely be eligible, but he may be able to play week 1. But the goal is for him to play against Tampa, and it's always been that. What's your reaction to that news, Spinny?
You love it. You love to hear that. DJ Reader was brought in here to be a stabilizing piece of that defensive line, to be the piece in the middle, the big ugly in the middle, that immovable object to take up, fill gaps, fill holes with his girth and tonnage. So you love to see that he is not going to have to start the season on the PUP list because, if you start the season on the PUP list, you got to miss the first 4 weeks of the season. So it's good to hear that he's trending in the right direction. I doubt he plays week 1, but hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully he'll be back week 2. Oh no, Malik Willis traded to the Packers.
Oh, we're fucked.
Look out! Forget Jordan Love. They got Malik Willis.
Revenge tour.
But you look at a guy like DJ Reader, and he is extremely important for both the linebacking core and the defensive linemen around him. So hopefully he'll be back sooner than later. I would love to see him week 1, but again, I don't think that's going to happen. I would assume that Tampa would be his best shot.
Man, we got to call Tim Patrick. That's got to happen. He's got the big body, too. The DJ Reader stuff, of course, it's good news. Obviously, this is good news. This is great news. I would even say I don't have the expectation for him to play week 1, but I wouldn't necessarily count it out. When I was in the practice facility, I'd see him in the weight rooms lifting it up, looking like an absolute fucking beast. The guy's built like an actual grizzly bear, but I'm not rushing it by any means. Obviously, I would be like a kid on Christmas wanting to play with my toys, but if he needs the time and it has to be week 2, maybe even like a week 3, I'm totally fine with that because Terrell Williams, the way he's got this team, between Terrell Williams and Brad Holmes, I don't know who to give more credit for in this one, but this defensive line is night and day from what it was last year. It just truly is. And you can look at maybe Levi and Enrique for that, but I would also just point to Terrell Williams and just Brad, the guys that brought Kyle Pico. Kyle Pico's making plays in practice. This defensive line is going to perform regardless. And on top of that, if you guys didn't know, if we didn't announce it on Friday, the LA Rams starting left tackle, Aloric Jackson, I think it is, suspended for 3 or 4 games for I guess speculate on what it was. I know it was something to do against the NFL policy. And then on top of that, the right tackle, Rob Harvenstein, is out too.
Yep.
So again, don't need to rush back DJ Reader. I know he plays the inside. Jonah Jackson, I guess he's supposed to be playing week 1, but I'm not in a rush for it. But if he does come back, Spinning, I'll grab some clips just to remind folks what this man brings to the table. Because I remember people looking at sack numbers and like, I don't get the hype around this guy. Brad Holmes went and spit bread because this guy, look at him bust this double team.
Hell yeah.
And still make the tackle. Like we were top 5 in run defense because we sacrificed the linebackers every single play to make it happen. This guy by his goddamn self is doing that. That happens on pass plays, by the way, too, and he's smart enough to get his hands up. It's Aiden's gonna be playing next to that guy. Jesus. We have another clip too, though.
I got you.
This one falls on the ground, Still splits a double team.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
That's what he does, man. He is a massive body that commands more than one person's attention on every single snap. So you love to see it.
I was trying to find like who's the most double team guy. I couldn't really find like what website to use for that.
Probably him, Vita Vea.
It's got to be up there.
Miles Garrett. Like those are the guys that you can't physically stop with one person, and DJ Reader definitely falls into that territory.
Juju Aquara, at least by Philly. Unfortunate for him, but I think we kind of set in the defensive line front. Maybe bring him on the practice squad. I mean, I don't know. I mean, in case of injury, it's a guy you call up, knows what's going on. But, yeah, the DJ Reader news is excellent. Nick?
Excellent news, no doubt. And this is the biggest addition that this team made in the offseason. And you think about, I wanted to get a blue-chip guy in here. This guy is a blue-chip guy on that defensive line. And for this team to reach the Super Bowl, I've been saying, is they need to have a top 10 defense. This is a big key in having that top 10 defense is a healthy DJ Reader. So if he's not back week 1, that's okay. Let's not rush him back after getting that procedure done. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him open things up for guys like specifically Aiden Hutchinson. Maybe even a guy like Davenport takes another step if he can remain healthy. You think about the size on this D-line now with Reader and with Davenport. Like, these guys, they're not going to get pushed around anymore, that's for sure. Yeah. I'll tell you that.
Big bodies in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, if like Nick said, if he's healthy, that's the road to a top 10 defense. And yeah, don't rush him back. I obviously probably not going to be ready for week 1.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell said, he's shooting for week 2 for DJ Reader, but yeah, he's just going to make everybody better on that defensive line. And even without Reader, I think, like you said, Eazy, I think Terrell Williams has all the other guys ready. Aleem McNeil, Davenport, Hutch, and DJ Reader is just going to be a nice piece we could throw in week 2 after, we beat the hell out of the Rams, and then we don't even have our best defensive lineman out there.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome. I'm excited. That was great news to see today.
That's like, and we talk about this too, but like this is crazy how much.
I love it when a plan comes
how
together.
Good the defensive line looks without him.
Yeah.
I'm talking about just, I guess, reps we got to see in practice because we didn't see the starters all preseason. But even the preseason, the defensive line was kind of putting in work. And, again, I don't know. I think it's a mixture of both Terrell and Brad. But just Terrell Williams, man, the way he's torn up this defensive line, it's not really necessarily a need to rush this guy back. It's just a luxury at this point. And I truly think Aiden Hutchinson, we've been doing it every day, it feels like. Aiden Hutchinson, DPOY versus, X player, offensive player of the year, whatever it may be. Hutch is reigning number 1. We can't find anybody else that's more likely to win an award on this team right now.
Yeah, no, Hutch is primed for a big season, and adding Terrell Williams, adding DJ Reader, the growth of guys like Aleem McNeil and Levi Onwuzurike coming out of nowhere are definitely primary factors to that. So when this team is healthy, when this defensive line is ready to go, it's gonna be putting the fear of God into some opposing quarterbacks. I can tell you that.
Amen, brother. Speaking of the defense in general, like we talked about how he's gonna help Hutch. How about the linebackers, too? Like, now you don't have to blitz those guys in order to stop the run. I mean, I'm sure they will in those plays, but now there it would be a little bit more lax so that they'll drop back in coverage. I'm hoping to see that turn for Jack Campbell, but that's just what this guy does.
And in the run game. That guy eating double teams, filling up holes so linebackers have less spaces to worry about and can attack the running back at the point of attack without having linemen come up and put their hands on him. Like, it's just going to free up these linebackers to use their athleticism and their playmaking ability to get to the quarterback, to get to the running back at the point of attack before he's already a yard past the line of scrimmage. So I'm excited to see Jack Campbell just flying around like a monster.
It's going to free up everybody, including, if he makes the squad, James Houston, which we'll talk about when we get back. But first, tell us about Feldman Chevrolet.
Feldman Chevrolet. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. And catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around. Who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda. A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
The Ally Challenge presented by McLaren is back August 22nd through 25th at Warwick Hills and Grand Blanc. Be there for PGA Tour Champions Golf, Family Night, concerts, and more. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours at allychallenge.com today.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi experts, Woodward Sports.
Woodward and Maine. Game day in Detroit. Wake up 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. with Detroit media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder for your source for all the insider information. And after that, make sure you check out Neil Rule and Sean Belizean on the pregame show. It's 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports. And every home game, check out Second Best Detroit and join us for this live stream. Woodward Sports.
Back to Whatever Waits Live on Sports.com. He's joined by some more Raxter, Chris.
My bad.
Nicholas Kohloff, the microwave. We got Caleb the colorblind as well. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, and share the stream. We talked about it before break. Spinny, James Houston, that's the guy you're looking forward to. It's a guy, multiple people. I mean, from Brad Holmes on, I've had positive things to say. In 2022, he had that 8-sack streak in just, I think, 7 games. And we kind of been waiting for him to revitalize that juice. He did have a sack in the preseason game against the Steelers, however, it was against the second or third team. Didn't have one against the Giants. It's kind of up in the air right now, and it's so much so. Dan Campbell had this to say after the game. Chris, you mind playing that one?
When guys does one thing exceptionally well, but maybe doesn't offer you a whole lot elsewhere, how does that play into an overall evaluation?
Yeah, and it's a good question because we really didn't have him a lot of camp. He was hurt. So we didn't get to see him at Kansas City this week, and so he's probably had maybe half of training camp, if that, somewhere in there. And so you still have to go off the totality of what it is. We understand he's a year 3 player that we have to take the body of work that has taken place in practice against our very good tackles. We got 2 of the best tackles in the league, and that he has to go against. And you take those, and then you take a little bit of what you saw today. Okay, well, what does the health look like? Can he still move? Is it? But I think look, that's going to be a hard decision for Brad and myself. It is one way or another. Because that's kind of what you're asking. Is it enough? I don't, and it's hard to say that right now. I mean, this will be a lot of things that we hash out between the 2 of us, the coaching staff, all of it. Like we got to make sure we're seeing it clearly.
I want you guys to pay attention to some of the words you said at the end there too, because hash out, sitting down, have that actual conversation, because it feels, I can't say for sure because we're not in the building and in those conversations, but it feels like Brad Holmes is on the side of keeping Houston, and he had, I just seen the clip from March at the owners' meetings. This is what he was saying about Houston.
Yep.
Look, sometimes it always gets lost of our eyes can get numb to our own players, and I'm not saying us, but, look, everybody doesn't have an Aiden Hutchinson on the edge. Everybody doesn't have an Aleem McNeil. So everyone doesn't have, again, when players are hurt, talking about the Emmanuel Mosley thing, when a player gets hurt, the player's forgotten about. Everyone doesn't have even a James Houston, that's obviously everybody was really excited about after he had all those sacks as a rookie, and then now he's hurt, and it's like, well, James Houston in on our roster. No, yes, he is. So he's coming back as well with a Marcus Davenport. So to add a reader with the mix of all those other guys, I think it's going to make things so much better.
And then you got to see Brad Holmes kind of talking about James Houston and the plus side. Now, granted, that was back in March before you had, and Brad Holmes, when we were out there, Deanna and I, he was there watching practice the same as any other coach too, but that was before this preseason, this outing, before James kind of I don't want to say they disappointed, but he wasn't really available, like Dan Campbell was saying.
Yeah, the first game of the year, the first preseason game of the year, he was still playing that Sam position, and we know that was an experiment that didn't work out too well. And then when they moved him back to edge in a full role at edge, he didn't play that next game. He didn't play against the Giants?
He played against the Giants. He
didn't play against the Chiefs, because of the injury. After they moved him back to edge from Sam, and then the final preseason game of the year, he's playing the edge role, and he gets a sack. So, again, I don't think it's ever been a production thing with James Houston. We know that when he's given the opportunity in the NFL, he produces. In 9 games, he has 8 sacks. So it's not a production thing with him. It's the versatility of him and how this team, this coaching staff, this regime, they value versatility and flexibility with a player more than any individual skill set. So if you are a player like James Houston that really only brings one thing to the table, you're going to get a second look, and it's going to be a harder thought than other guys they might think are more complete players or guys that they can use in different aspects of the game. So I still think James Houston makes this team. I think he makes the 53 because you look at what he does and how well he does that and how impactful that specific thing is to the game of football. I think it's hard to give up on a guy like that. So I think he'll make this team. I think we see him on the roster and playing games for the Lions.
A little bit of an update in the Houston saga as well. I'm agree with you, Spinning. I think he makes his team. And I've got a little bit of a cheat code with me. Agood officially cut from the Detroit Lions team.
He's waived.
I expect waived. That's why I apologize. Waived. Meaning, hopefully he can make it back to the 69 because we don't have anybody to play that Sam linebacker position if Derek Barnes were to go out. As you said, they tried getting James Houston to do that for 3 years now. Obviously, last year dealt with the injury, but 3 years they've been working on getting him. And by the way, a coaching staff that we respect. Like, we all, I think, highly of Kelvin Shepard. Obviously, the defensive line, but he wasn't with the defensive line group. He wasn't able to shake at the same linebacker spot. However, he showcased elite skills at just rushing the passer.
And people saying that he'll make it back to the practice squad. No, if he gets waived, someone will pick him up.
Houston?
Yeah.
No, if Houston gets waived, someone's definitely
If he gets waived, someone will.
If your intention isn't to keep James Houston, that's why I was kind of tweeting yesterday. Is like, you're not keeping Houston. Pick up the phone. Yeah, and you call for Noah Brown. Pick up the phone, call for whatever you feel like you may need, but you're gonna have to make that commitment. If you're not, you're gonna have to make that call if you're not committed to James Houston. But I think he makes a team. I just saw a couple names in Woodward Sports Chat, or the name in the Woodward Sports Chat that I think he's competing against at this point too is Ukwu.
Yeah.
Ukwu in 3 games, 3 sacks.
Damn good preseason.
Another good outing, and he had a great outing too against. I don't want to say great because he didn't land any sacks or anything like that too, but like. You saw him. He showcased his skills against that first-team KC offense, too, and that's one of the elites. And they had the best offensive lineman out, too, because they had Patrick Mahomes out there trying to keep him safe. And Ukwu was on that ass. Pause.
Yeah.
Nick, where you at with the James Houston saga?
Everything's going to be fine.
Everything's going to be fine. Everybody's overreacting about James Houston, I think, especially. I don't know why it's so polarizing, but it is in this town about the James Houston saga. And it's because he was hurt last year.
Yeah.
Like, let's reel it back in. And I know I think Olsen said in the chat, not a gritty guy. Maybe he's not the grittiest of guys, but can he get to the damn quarterback? Yes. Is he elite at doing that? Yes. That's all I care about right now. And when it's a 3rd and 12, and you got Hutchinson coming at you, Houston, Reeder, Aleem, a Davenport, it's all of these guys are going to fit into the one thing, and it's getting to the quarterback, and James Houston does that at an elite level. He's going to make this team. Brad Holmes doesn't name drop players just for fun. Mm-hmm. Like, he sees something special in them. He is one of Brad Holmes' biggest gems of his career.
So what do you make of Dan Campbell's comments?
I think he's still trying to push him. I think he wants to light a fire under his ass, honestly. That's where I'm at with Dan Campbell he continues to say this about James Houston. And I think it's just lighting a fire under his ass. Maybe this guy needs to be pushed harder than other players. And I think he's going to be on this team week 1. And I think if he's in the game in some big spots, rushing the passer, I think he's going to get home as well.
Yeah, I guess that's a good takeaway. If he's going to make the team for sure. We know Dan Campbell do those Jedi tricks. Talking about J-Mo with the hands.
Yes.
Talking about us like breaking the record. Like he plants that seed. And that's the great thing about leadership too is like accountability is number one. But if you give somebody else accountability, then they're in charge. You don't have to be the one to tell them what to do. They're in control of it. You put that responsibility on them to make themselves great. I thought initially when he said that you don't say those things to motivate somebody on cut day because you don't know if he's making a team. But if he's making the team, then that's what that was.
I think he's making the team. I'm not too worried about that. I think it goes down to Betts or Ukwu. Or what's Ukwu? Right?
Ukwu, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Betts or Ukwu, and I think they're going to go Ukwu. I think they can keep both of these guys, really.
I don't know. I only had – let me pull up my squad. I think defensive line, I had Ogudier, Betts. Oh, that's my linebackers too. Kaminsky obviously gone. Betts, but yeah. I had Ukwu making the team overall. But I'm going to switch up now.
I was just going to say, I think you can keep Betts on your – because I don't think Betts gets picked up by anyone if you get rid of him. So he could be on your practice squad.
Well, remember, too, he got offered another situation that I guess was more fruitful money-wise. And he ended up coming here.
Yeah, that's true, but he didn't really do anything in preseason to show other teams that, to draw interest from other teams. That's my guess. I mean, he had the sack, but other than that, he didn't really impress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think Betts would be. If you did waive him, I don't think he would get picked up, and if he did, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah. I think he would get picked up, but I'm with you with it not being the end of the world. I had 10 defensive linemen in the roster. Hendon Hooker, Marcus Davenport, Aleem McNeil, Levi Onwuzurike, DJ Reader, Kyle Pico, Broderick Martin, Mekhi Wingo, Josh Pascal, and originally Ukwu that I kind of want to change to Houston after listening to Nick. Great take, Nick.
Shout out, thank you. And I just want to ask the chat and everybody listening, if you had to go against James Houston and Montez Sweat, the first time we played Chicago in Chicago, anyone feeling great about Jared Goff not being protected on the blind side with James Houston coming at you?
No, I would not like to see James Houston on a team I'm playing against.
Exactly. It's like, all right, I know you guys might not have faith, but think about the opposite. And it's just, I just cannot get the game against the Jacksonville Jaguars out of my head where he just looked so elite at getting to the quarterback, and I think he gets that back this season.
And not only that, what he does to the carcass of the quarterback too. I mean, you want Jared Goff dealing with that? Like, come on. Like, I mean, like what he did to Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, what he did to Trevor Lawrence, what he did to Justin Fields. Like, you just gotta sometimes the choices in life aren't as difficult as you think when you just look at the alternative. Once you can be complaining about a situation, you can be hyper-focused on it, but if you just step out and look at the alternative, sometimes it makes the decision a lot easier. I think that's one of those cases with this situation. I understand that's how this regime is built. They like the versatility, but I think it's so simple if you just look at the opposite of him being on another team in a role that favors him.
Just a fan says,
good.
Fear is never reason to keep a player. The reason to keep the player is he has 8 sacks in 9 games played in the NFL. That's the reason to keep him.
Yes.
The reason to keep him is we've seen him do it in actual games in the NFL. That's the reason to keep James Houston.
Well, the other piece, too, where you're looking at the staff kind of just believing in him is like when he did come back, they played him against an NFC Conference Championship game. Remember he had that one like semi-late hit, didn't pick up the flag, but had a little bit of a late hit on Brock Purdy. Like, so not only did he play the game, but he also like got to the quarterback, you know what I'm saying, and imposed his will, or at least you saw him. You noticed him out there. So if he was – the only reason to put him on the ball was if Betts blew it out of the water, Ukwu did. And Ukwu kind of did, and I think it's a conversation they're probably having because I just don't know if they can keep both of them. Maybe go over our roster projections when we get back, how many guys you have in the defensive line. But first, we got to tell you about Guardian Alarm, speaking of defense.
Guardian Alarm offers you customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They also have 24/7 professional monitoring. You call them anytime, day or night. No Guardian Alarm team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. And of course, they have technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology. It's been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care. So call them at 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
And let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
Dispo Dispensary is not only your local cannabis plug, but right now you can get $10 off of any purchase of $25 or more. Just scan the QR code and head over to one of the Dispo locations. Find one near you by visiting disposhops.com. You must be 21 and older to participate. 8-part tip per dag. Ravidex Gavin. What is up with the hate? I mean,
I don't know, man.
Houston hate is wild. There could be a debate. There could be a conversation, but the hate?
I don't understand
it. You can't deny what this kid's done.
I don't understand the rhetoric that he doesn't produce. Like, that's the thing that pisses me off the most. When I hear people say, oh, he doesn't produce enough. He hasn't produced enough. You're talking about him like this, and he hasn't produced anything. If there's one thing he's done, it is produce. He has 8 sacks in 9 games played. What more production do you want? He broke his ankle. It's not like he has this nagging hamstring injury that's kept him out here and there. He played games. He got cut, got brought back, started playing games, was sacking the quarterback, then broke his ankle. What else do you want from him? You want him to play on one leg? Do you want him to get 2 sacks in every game? Like, I don't want the he hasn't produced argument is not just stupid, it's false. So I hate when people say that. Like, he has produced.
Chris.
It's the flexibility is the only thing that's he's
a one-trick
making
pony.
him somewhat of a roster bubble, is because that we know what he does, and that's really the only thing he can do. But he does it really well, and it's really important to the game of football.
Chris, can you play that video just one more time? The one of the DJ Reader ones?
Yeah.
I guess the one that gets the Titans is probably the best one. I mean, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, this is – if DJ Reader's doing that, and James Houston has a one-on-one situation next to him, he's capitalizing for a sack. It's just, can he get back to that rhythm, that body type, the bend that he had in 2022? That's the real question. And then is it worth letting Uku go or waiving Uku and losing him to someone else? That's the conversation that they're most likely having, and probably Betts in that situation too.
Yeah, James Houston might be looking back thinking, wow, maybe I shouldn't have gotten 8 sacks in that limited games, because now I have the expectations of a first-round pick by the Lions fans. It's like, let this kid grow a little bit. He was hurt all last year. He has elite pass rushing traits, which is his role now, no longer the Sam linebacker. Just let him cook a little bit. Let him go.
And you look at this, and James Houston or Uku, whichever it ends up being, they're going to be the last defensive lineman on your roster, the last guy that makes this team. How many snaps are you expecting this guy to get, whether it be Uku or Houston? At most, that last defensive lineman on your roster is getting a handful of snaps in a game. And if it's only a handful of snaps, I'd rather it be James Houston, who has proved in a handful of sacks he can directly impact winning or losing football games. Like, I don't expect James Houston or Uku to be playing 70% of the defensive snaps. I expect them to get maybe 20 snaps in a game, maybe. And at that point, I'd rather it be James Houston, who has proved he can sack the quarterback when he's given the opportunity in actual NFL games that actually matter.
Let him cook.
My God, this all happened over 3 years ago. He didn't show anything. He had a sack just Saturday.
I don't understand.
And he had a few. And again, he got meaning. There's no more meaningful game in the Detroit Lions history in the past 10 years than the NFC Conference Championship game. James Houston got snaps
past 25 years
in the NFC Conference Championship game. James Houston got pressures in the NFC Conference Championship game. Like, this is all stuff that I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm peace and live on air. He's gonna be on the team. There's no. I don't doubt that he's on the team.
Got pressures against Patrick Mahomes as well in that first week. He almost had him on the ground before,
you're right.
And if it wasn't Patrick Mahomes, doing crazy stuff, he would not have been able to throw that ball away. But
Ben Foster, 2 years is a decade in the NFL. He had 1 year, good year. Get off his clock. What has this other guy done? What has Uku done in the NFL that makes you want him so bad? Nothing.
Uku, what do you mean? Uku, he had a good.
What has he done in the NFL in actual games that actually matter?
I mean, he played against the KC first team offense.
Is that in the actual NFL in an actual game that actually matters?
I'm not discrediting Uku because I think Houston makes a team. I'm not like Uku still.
No, I like Uku, and I think he's a
conversation.
good player. But saying James Houston hasn't done anything, but Uku has, that's just absent. That's asinine. Like that literally is completely false.
What? One more time. I was reading the chat.
Saying that James Houston hasn't done anything in 2 years, so he can't make this team, but Uku has done something in the NFL in 2 years? No, he hasn't. They're literally in the same situation, but one guy, we've seen it happen before.
Yeah, he just had a better offseason. That's it. More availability. I think he's a fresher face. Is Uku a rookie on UDFA? Can someone check? Because that's a guy you might lose if you're not waiving him.
You're losing either of them. When you let one of these guys go, they're more than likely going to get picked up. Houston for sure. Uku probably.
Let me pull the name up for my depth chart. Caleb, what else are you about to say? I'll pull it up. You're good.
I was just saying bless you to Nick.
Yeah, I like Uku. I do. I would love to see both of these guys on this roster. But I'm not just going to sit here and act like James Houston has never done anything for this team.
I do believe he is a undrafted free agent. Yeah, he played for the Rebels last year at Ole Miss.
Also, when this guy plays, he produces. Like, yeah, he was hurt. He had a freak injury in his second season in the NFL. And you've seen him be elite. Why do you want to give up on this guy? Like, I actually think that people are trolling right now. There is no way that they can be this serious.
I can't believe some of the things that they're saying.
I got to be honest with you, too.
It defies logic.
The way like it trips me out and depends on who the person too. I don't know everyone's like specific takes, but like look at how long people have been holding out on Jameson Williams, who I would have to argue, and honestly we'd probably be actually correct. Houston performed to a higher level in 22 than Williams has, and we've held out for Williams despite injury, despite getting suspended, for whatever it may have been. Like we've held hope. Why does it disappear for Houston when he's actually shown you what he could do?
Yes.
To be fair, though, I agree with you. That's a good point. But I think where people look at is expectation of drafting. Like, again, J-Mo was drafted in the first round. Houston wasn't. I erase all that when you get to the league because when you show in the league, that's what matters to me. But I think some people are looking at Houston as just this luxury gift that we just, oh, yeah, Brad Holmes just does this all the time. So who cares? He was a fifth, sixth round pick. So, you know, Brad Holmes will just do that next draft. No big deal. Whereas J-Mo was somebody that they seem to invest actual stock in. I still think it's wrong, but
for me, it makes me feel like people are arguing whether these guys should be the starting defensive end opposite of Hutch or not. Like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a guy that might get a handful of snaps in a game. Maybe. It's the last defensive lineman you're keeping on your team. This isn't going to be a guy that's getting 40 snaps, 50 snaps a game. So if it comes down to 5 snaps, who would you rather have, James Houston or Uku? I'm taking James Houston. And I like Uku. But he's shown us that he can do it in limited snaps, in that role, exactly what we need in the NFL.
Yeah, James Houston's probably making the team.
And if it was between James Houston and Uku for starting defensive end, then yeah, you'd probably rather have Uku because he's more all around. But when it's these guys that are only going to be getting a select number of snaps per game, that you only need them to do one thing, and you have one guy that's really fucking good at doing that, I would take him.
James Houston, 5 pressures, 1 sack, 2 quarterback hits, and a pass rush win rate of 19%, according to PFF, in just this last game. Actually, no, this is on the entire preseason, which that's good. That ranks him 15th
in the NFL.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, keep in mind a lot of first string players aren't playing, but still an impressive number. I mean, that's still worth the last roster spot on your team.
And honestly, a lot of the guys ahead of him are the first string guys. Will McDonald and the Jets.
Yeah.
That's actually about it. Greg Russo, Buffalo.
Yeah. Milkman don't get scared. Oh, there's free pussy on every doorstep. You didn't kill him, did you?
Yeah, he's probably making the team. Again, it's conversation.
Lions cut Ty Summers per Dave Burkett.
Kind of saw that one coming.
Yeah. I think Neiman's going to be one.
You're fired!
Fourth linebacker.
He sat out.
He looked good when he was playing.
He didn't dress in the Steelers game. It kind of was confirmation that he was making the team, which I was kind of caught by surprise just because I like Zylstra. I would have kept Zylstra over Neiman because I feel like the linebackers, they all looked good this offseason. I think it's because of the defensive line. I don't know. We're up against it. We gotta
Ben
go break.
Foster, again, people forget James Houston had 3 sacks in 2 games as well. That padded his stats, just saying.
Is that bad?
Is that a bad thing? That he had multiple sacks in a game?
Also, how do you pat your stats in the stats
honestly,
in the NFL?
He has to be trolling because those arguments, like someone said, can I debate without yelling? Yeah, I can. When it's logical debates that are actually based on fact and not just nonsense being spewed.
Let me talk to you.
He always yells.
I do yell a lot, but when it's like that, like he had too many sacks in one game. How dare he?
Brian
what are we
Foster, you know I
doing
love
here?
you, brother. That was a wild comment.
That's wild.
That was kind
I
of
appreciate the support, man, but like,
Wait.
what do you mean?
Are we sure he said as a knock or he said as like a pro?
No, because he was the one that said that James Houston was a one-trick pony. And
Hey, Charles.
That's not a knock. That's not.
No, that's
Don't
good.
forget, he had 3 sacks in a 2-game stretch.
He had multiple sacks in one game.
That's a good thing.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
How dare he?
Love you, Foster. That's funny. All right, tell us about Lady Jane's.
Lady Jane's. What happens when you need a haircut? You go to Lady Jane's because Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men is where awesome is and awesome lives. Walk in any day, 7 days a week, sit down anytime or schedule an appointment and get an amazing haircut from one of their talented stylists. You can get a hot leather neck shave, shoulder and neck massage, a scalp massage, all of that good stuff. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supplies, hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences the online and big box retailers. The one major difference, they're family, locally owned and operated for over 30 years. 60 brands of food and nutrition experts to help you. Same day local curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupply.com.
One of the new faces on this team, speaking about guard play, is Pro Bowler Zeitler.
Yeah.
What can you say about his game that's impressed you the most in his past and what he brings to this team?
Yeah, I appreciate Zeitler because we were both free agents back in 2017, and he set a new bar for guards. So I benefited from that. And I'll have to say thank you next time I get to see him. But he's just a solid player. Look, we know that the strength of that team is that offensive line. The guys that they have, bringing back Graham was huge. A big part of what they were able to do last year. And we know that really their offensive identity starts with what they could do up front. Those guys are so valuable, and they've got a lot of tools, man. They're not just a power team or a zone team or just pass protectors. They're really good at all those things, and I think Zeitler fits that mold. He's been more known, I think, as a run blocker, but his pass protection has been incredible for a long time. He's been one of the top tier guards in this league for a long time now, so I think it was a heck of an addition. I think he's going to fit well into the group of guys they already got.
I'm super excited about.
Shout out to Nick for knocking out those interviews today. Shout out to TJ Lang, friend of the network, friend of the show.
For the show.
Was a real surreal moment when we saw him at the Hard Knocks.
You got to get a pick.
And he recognized us, which was really cool.
Yeah.
Really want to pound some beers with that guy. TJ Lang is a bro.
Yeah, I think we bought him a beer.
Yeah.
But we were also late.
Yeah.
To the whole thing.
Yeah, no, TJ Lang was cool, man. He's a cool guy. And he's right. Like, Zeitler he was a Pro Bowler last year for a reason. Like, the guy is a stud, one of the best pass blocking interior offensive linemen in the NFL. So That's why I said it a couple times. I'll say it again. Jared Goff is going to be the least sacked quarterback in the NFL this year. You can put that on wax. So having him back, having him not have to miss, the start of the season, hopefully because of the injury he was dealing with, is very good. This is a guy who he looks like Dan Campbell, just put on some weight. I forget who put that out there. I think it was the Detroit Times. They put out a tweet that it was like Kevin Zeitler just looks like Dan Campbell if he put on some weight, and he kind of does. And he's a Dan Campbell guy. We've all seen the video of him, doing pass blocking reps in the delivery room while his wife's giving birth. He's a man's man. I'm excited to see him at that right guard spot in between Frank and Penei. He does. So hopefully he's ready, good to go for week 1 versus the Rams.
I got to send this picture to Chris now. That's hilarious. I love the part that he brought up that he's been in multiple different schemes. Just because I was kind of curious about that too. Like coming from Baltimore, I guess he was more known as a pass protector. I know TJ said run protector there, but it was more so pass. But the fact that you do forgot that he did play with the Giants beforehand. He's been in the league a very long time. He's gone through multiple different offensive coordinators. So it makes sense that he's more familiar with multiple different schemes. And we go back to a few years ago when Ben Johnson first started calling plays, and we had a defensive coordinator in the Athletic. And that's why I had Ted Wynn on. It's an article I've discovered him. But defensive coordinators were like, yeah, we don't know what to do with these guys because they're doing shit we've never seen before. And literally what Ben's doing is he's taking every single one of those different schemes, blocking-wise, or at least when it comes to running the football, and he's mixing them all up. And for like veteran guys in the NFL that read certain keys, that know certain plays because of, this guy's pulling this way or the white knuckle trick and other good stuff like that, they're misreading what the actual situation is because they're diverting with so many other people. And then you have Penei Sewell, you can just throw down the field, and he's a freaking road grader, can move anybody out the way, multiple people if need be. And it's just it all is beautiful, but you need someone with the big enough brain to do it. Someone with enough experience to do it and execute it. That's why, Penei Ben came in his year, so I didn't really take him too much time. But regardless of the fact, though, Zeitler fulfilling that role in Detroit Lions and have one of the best offensive lines because of it.
Yeah, I mentioned this the last time we talked about this. Like, he comes from a pretty complex blocking scheme as well with the Baltimore Ravens. Like, that's not an easy offense for anybody to pick up with all the running and counters and traps that they do on that run blocking scheme with guys. Obviously, they were a big running back stable with just bringing up a different running back and he'd be good because their guys kept getting hurt. And with Lamar Jackson, the way they run the ball there, that's not an easy thing to learn. So a veteran piece, a guy who's been in multiple different systems. I was not worried about the learning curve of him with Ben Johnson's offense, even though it is a very complex scheme to learn. He's definitely someone who is more than capable of picking that up and doing it fluently. Like, no offense, but if guys like Colby Sorsdale and Yodi, who have no NFL experience, can pick it up and be put in there and make things happen, I have full faith that a guy who's been in the NFL for a long time and been in multiple schemes can do that just as well.
Nick, you got to talk to him. What was your takeaway?
Yeah, this obviously this is supposed to be, where our heart and soul is of this team, and it's this offensive line. So to hear TJ Lang, who covers this team specifically, was a guard when he did play, get fired up about Zeitler and hear like the passion in his voice about talking about this offensive line and how he's going to help out guys around him as well. I mean, Andy just came out of his first Pro Bowl at this age in his 30s, so we haven't really seen the starting offensive line yet because he hasn't been in there, but to hear him talk so confidently about him specifically, I'm fired up. I don't think they're going to miss a beat. I actually think they're going to be better this season. And I think this offense is going to go as long as this offensive line stays healthy. To be honest, I don't think anybody's going to be able to stop this offense.
That's the beauty of it, man. We saw Jamal Williams break Barry Sanders' record.
How many touchdowns?
17. Like Barry Sanders. That's Jamal Williams. All due respect to Jamal. He's not really even known as a starter.
He's a backup.
He's a backup. It's a change of pace guy. A short down and distance guy. He's not... Broke Barry Sanders' record behind this offensive line, and now you have a guy just explosive like Jahmyr Gibbs. You think about this, too. I think I talked about this with Dion as well. Is Jahmyr Gibbs, it took him a minute, and he did that thing very specifically that Austin Eckler was asking him to do. Is they're going to end those inside runs, those just pop out and show hitters. And he started doing it in the back half of the season.
Yeah.
The thing about that, there was probably 6 games before he started actually doing that. I think it was the Raiders game. He broke out. I know the one big run against the Ravens, but it was like... the game was kind of over at that point.
Yeah.
However, he's going to have a full season of that behind the same offensive line we're gushing over right now.
And, David Montgomery had the longest touchdown run in the NFL last year behind this offensive line. Like, I remember when some cousins in the chat were trying to tell me that Jamal Williams was better than David Montgomery.
Yeah,
but that's
ridiculous.
That's a tale for another day. I came here hammered at like 1 a.m. and filmed the reel the minute the Lions signed David Montgomery because I was so excited.
Oh, it's interesting.
We got something special with this offensive line, and a big shout out to Hank Fraley. Like, he is one of the most underappreciated coaches in the NFL. He is the best offensive line coach in the NFL. The guy is on the fast track to be an offensive coordinator somewhere. I love what he does, and I'm so happy. That was another big thing of keeping Ben Johnson is you kept Hank Fraley with Ben Johnson, and that guy is extremely important and is crucial to this team's success. And any one of those big uglies in the middle or on the outside will tell you that Hank Fraley is their favorite coach they've ever had. So, like, those guys gush over him. So I'm excited to see what they can do this year, upgrading that piece from Jonah Jackson, who, Jonah's no scrub. It was just he could never stay healthy. And Kevin Zeitler is a proven track record of being an amazing pass blocker and staying healthy in the NFL. So hopefully he keeps that going with the Lions.
And even if not, I mean, he's probably going to start the year on the NFI list, and that means he missed 4 games. But Christian Mahogany, high hopes, man. I really do think that kid's got it, especially in the run game, which is where that's our bread and butter, which everything's built from with Jared Goff in this offense.
You don't miss 4 games for the NFI list, do you? I thought that was a PUP list.
PUP list and NFI.
Oh.
NFI is just like if it didn't happen on the practice field. PUP is like if it did.
Whack.
Yeah, non-football injury list. Either way, Denver released Philip Dorsett.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, I'm a big body guy.
No. Hard pass.
Hard pass.
I wouldn't say hard pass, but
I'm with you.
I'd rather have Tim Patrick.
I'd rather Tim Patrick as well, and I hope that happens. You got another clip from Nick's interview. You want to play that one?
Yes, sir.
Nicholas Kohloff, Woodward Sports, here with former Lion TJ Lang. TJ, expectations have never been higher for the season.
Yeah.
How do they wrap it up and get the job done?
I mean, look, you don't think about last year. I think a lot of those guys were certainly hurt after that NFC Championship game, but that was so long ago. You go into each new season thinking about how do we build our identity for this year, right? The talent doesn't translate over year to year. The identity doesn't translate over year to year. So they're going to have to build up what they want to be, physical, disciplined football team like we saw last year. And as long as they keep doing that, they've got the talent to make another run. And obviously the cliche thing and what most teams, 32 other teams are saying right now around the league is as long as we stay healthy, we think we got a good chance to be a good football team.
Yeah, I think the big thing there, too, is something about just carrying over. I mean, it doesn't always carry over, the attitude, the mentality, and stuff like that. However, watching a preseason, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Like you could tell. There was specifically, did you go to that one, Nick? I think you were there for the preseason game.
Yeah, I was there for the first half.
That the goal line stop, that they had the most random holding call on Brock Martin. I still don't understand to this day. If anybody else does, please explain that one to me. I don't understand it at all. However, that goal line stop, just the tenacity, the fucking, like, bro, even coming back in the game, they were down 14-0. And we get into Hendon Hooker stuff when we get back from that, but, like, the grit is there. And, in fact, I think the tagline this year is we want more, or wasn't enough, or some sort of like that. So yeah, you had grit last year, but you didn't have enough of it.
You need the grit and the grind.
You do.
And I'm excited for this team. I mean, I think we all are. And again, shout out to Nick for killing it today with all the interviews. He impressed some important people. I'll say that.
Let's go.
He went out there. He did a great job. And shout out to TJ Lang for sharing some of his time with us. But he's right. We did get kind of lucky last year with the injury situation, to where the only real catastrophic injuries were to guys like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and James Houston and Emmanuel Mosley. And so hopefully we can have that same thing and avoid any serious injuries this year, because they're primed for another run, man. And I'm excited to watch it kind of unfold.
Yeah, and Chuck Ruler with Sports Chat says culture does carry over year to year, though. That's why the Patriots and the Chiefs and other teams were/are great year to year. It's not seamless, though. Like, you have to put in the work. You have to
cultivate it.
You have to practice it every day. Not just preach it, but practice it, instill it, and make sure it's your thing every single year. Especially like your leaders in the locker room, your Jared Goffs, your Amon-Ra St. Browns, your Penei Sewells, and that's why those guys getting paid, and we talked about when they got those contracts, but it was a huge plus because it's your leaders who got paid. And the guys that worked the hardest that got paid. So they're setting that example for them. Like, hey, you want to make it in this league? You want to get paid in this league? This is what I'm doing. This is what I've been doing. And look at the success of this team as well. It's not seamless. We've seen it happen before. We've seen it happen before with this exact very team.
Darius Fountain just tweeted, "Wow."
Cut.
Probably.
You're fired. Oh, the Jim Caldwell stuff though, like the Terrell Austin. Remember that defense? Like they're looking great. All this, none of that shit carried over. It all deteriorated.
Yeah, I think the difference why some of it will carry over. Obviously, he said like it's time to turn the page, not look back anymore, and he said how distraught that locker room was, and how these young guys are the leaders. You think about the All-Pros specifically in St. Brown and Sewell. Then you think about the second team All-Pro Sam Laporta, and then you think about Ragnow. Those other three guys, Brad Holmes drafted. And then to think about future All-Pros in Aiden Hutchinson, Brian Branch. I think those guys are going to get there in their career. These are all young guys that almost got there. Let's be honest. They should have won that game. They had a 17-point lead. They lost that game. Those guys come back hungry, and that's why I believe that this team is going to get there again, but this time get over the hump and get to that Super Bowl because they were so close last time, but they know now what it takes to actually do it. And, yeah, shout out TJ for his time. Was probably, I don't know if I can say this, favorite interview of the day. I mean, he was on it. He really broke it down, and he does a great job, and shout out TJ Lang.
Yeah, TJ's the man, dude. Always a good guy to talk to. Like I said, I want to pound some beers with TJ Lang.
By the way, we have Walking Bets joining the show this week, too. We got to figure out what day and time.
No way.
Yeah. Walking Bets.
Hell yeah, dude.
She'd be hopping on getting some NFC notes. By the way, too, yeah.
Say swear to God.
Derek, yeah. Yep, her name's actually, her real name's Taylor Mathis, if you guys don't know.
Shout out.
Great cash, homie. Bets. If you guys don't know, you will know soon enough.
Go watch Walking Bets.
We also have Derek Klassen joining the show tomorrow, too, after cuts. He's with The Athletic. But we do have to go to break, come back. I'm going to tell you guys about the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Guys, how would you like to golf with the likes of Calvin Johnson, Braylon Edwards, Darren McCarty, and more? It's the Randy Wise Automotive Team Celebrity Golf Tour. Scan the QR code above my head or just visit woodwardsports.com for your opportunity to join the celebrities, some of the Hall of Famers on the golf course.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down. Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit. They just opened one in Madison Heights, known for the best chicken, pizza, and biscuits in the game. If you want to find one near you, go to Sorokis.com. Soroki's, now that's crispy.
What up, welcome back to World Heavyweights Live at WoodSports.com. He's joined by Spin Rex, young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff, a.k.a. Unky Nick, the microwave. We got Caleb, the colorblind in the building. Smash that like button, be a friend, tell a friend, and share the stream. Detroit Lions roster in a pretty good spot, although cuts are happening. But the only thing to argue about is depth pieces, wide receiver threes, and quarterback twos. Hendon Hooker. First 4 drives come up scoreless. Sacked 3 consecutive times, kind of embarrassing. As a Hendon Hooker guy, I was like, oh, fuck, this ain't a good look. However, it was against...
It was the worst look on the offensive line.
Yes, it was a mixture of both. Like, he was holding on the ball a little bit long. Some guys weren't getting off the ball and getting open. And the offensive line was fucking horrendous.
Terrible.
But after the guys, the third team on third team, some of the defensive line, offensive line, after that situation panned out, the final, 4 drives? Final 5 drives, he scored 3 touchdowns. Ended up winning the game. Like, just I think Dan Campbell praised that too, just the wherewithal or just the grit to stay in the game and not lose your focus after starting. 3 consecutive sacks, bro. It's like, I was fucking almost done at that point. But no, he came back. And when he run for 93 yards rushing, Hendon Hooker looked good.
He did look good. He
Looked
did look
damn
good.
good.
He was, like you said, he looked a little overwhelmed at the beginning, and the offensive line and the receivers were not doing anything to help him. The offensive line was completely terrible. But yeah, he was holding on to it a little too long, waiting too long to break the pocket. But once he got his confidence, so he found his stride, he looked damn good. He was making good throws. There was good ball placement. He had one touchdown that was Jake Fromm that had that touchdown drop. But he had that nice touchdown throw to Funk, right in the corner. He dropped it in there to him. And yeah, I mean, the legs, that's impressed me. It's more than I expected out of him. But he looks good. He looks comfortable. And yeah, I'm confident with him going forward.
The way I want to put it in perspective, too, is like put him behind the first. In this situation, obviously, we're not asking for it or clamoring for it and telling you it's going to happen or there's a competition for the job or nothing like that. But in a situation we have to revert to a quarterback 2, Jared Goff goes down, that kid behind that first team offensive line that we just got done gushing 2 segments ago, he's going to put in work.
Throwing balls to Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta with a run game of Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery behind him. Yes, it's going to be when you go from the worst offensive line I've ever seen to the best offensive line in football, that's going to make a big difference.
I mean, him just making some of that work with that third team is impressive by itself, in my opinion. I mean, I know he had the interception, but that was a little bit of a – you could put it on both of them, and as a true leader does, again, we talked about accountability, he took that. In the presser, post-game presser, he was like, yeah, I could have put it on him more. But if you watch in actuality, I think Golden Tate mentioned this too, the wide receiver, by the way, talked about his favorite wide receiver, by the way, Isaiah Williams, slowed down that route off the stem. So it's like – kind of on both of them. He tipped it and helped it happen. And Isaiah Williams said after the game as well, that was on me. But, again, another example of a good player taking accountability or a great leader taking accountability. Hendon Hooker, I know Dan said it was Sudfeld previously.
Fuck no, it's not Sudfeld.
Yes. Obviously, we hope nothing happens.
No.
But there's just no fucking way.
There's no way.
There's no fucking way you're putting that guy in over Hendon Hooker in a situation
If Dan Campbell can look me in the eyes and say, if Jared Goff gets a hangnail and has to miss a drive, I think it is better for this football team's success to play Nate Sudfeld than it is Hendon Hooker. I will look him in the eyes and call him a liar because it's not true.
Yeah.
Having Sudfeld on the roster, wanting to keep Sudfeld on the roster is a different thing. I'm fine with that because what he does to Goff's confidence, and he irons his shirts just how he likes them. Mm-hmm. So that is something that can't be easily replaced. But if it comes down to needing to play football games or to play snaps in the NFL, there is nothing anybody can say that would convince me that Sudfeld is a better option than Hendon Hooker at this moment right now.
Like, even those situations like, I don't know, man. With the first team, and a lot of stuff's not happening. We talked about the interception. But just Dan Campbell, just reading him, and I sounded like a New York game, kind of in the KC game, he sounded a little bit pissed off. He sounded like he had a lot of praise for Hendon Hooker, just coming back from starting off that rough. And the other part of it, too, is he wasn't even with the second strings. It was a mixture of both. A lot of guys that were playing that third string the previous 2 games were starting in that last game because this is their last chance to make the roster, and the guys that you want on the roster, you don't want to get hurt. Ben Neiman's not likely to get too many snaps come this season without injury. He sat out. Like, a lot of your second stringers were sitting out. So, like, Hendon, even the work he did do was with that third team as well. And, yeah, nothing but praise from me. If you want to say that maybe game 1 it would be Nate Sudfeld, sure, whatever. But as the season progressed, I expect Hendon to do as well. And I think he's going to be phenomenal. It might end up being a great trade down the line, too.
Dr. Klappencheek says Fromm looked better than Sudfeld. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fromm was putting darts out there. Like, he made some he had the drop touchdown that I think it was Funk again, that he dropped it in a bucket right to him, and he just dropped it. Yeah, Fromm looked good, man. I'm happy for Fromm because I forget who said, I think it was Stick said it on BDE today. Like, that was the Lions organization saying, like, thanks for coming and being our practice guy for a little bit. Here's some tape you can give to NFL teams when you're looking for another job.
Yeah.
And that's what he got his opportunity. He made the most of it. Like, if I needed a backup quarterback in a bad situation, I wouldn't look past Jake Fromm because he looked comfortable. He is strong arm. Obviously, he's putting some darts out there.
It's probably a guy that makes your practice squad.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I would love that. I didn't even get to see it all the way, to be honest. I didn't even watch the rest of it. I had the family dinner I was telling you about on Friday.
He was throwing ropes. Like, the ball looked good coming out of his hand. He was putting it in the right spot, not throwing any, hospital balls.
When did he come in Fourth quarter?
Fourth quarter. And like I said, he had it was a long, double move to the running back, kind of a spider 3-wide banana play where the running back hits like a wheel route, and he was wide open in the end zone. Fromm dropped that thing right in a bucket, right in his hands, and he just dropped it.
And for the people that had a magnifying glass on the negative, and I talk about this with Dion, who you guys know was a Jared Goff fan. Like, he loves JG. We've been going at it for 3 years now. Even he admitted, like, even if you put JG back there, you're more likely not getting anything. Versus Hendon actually at least being able to run and get you something. Like, again, him behind that first team line is going to be putting in work.
Yeah, I'm confident with Hendon Hooker if he need, like, God forbid, I don't want to see him take a snap unless it's the last week of the season. We got the number 1 seed in the NFC locked down. That's the only time I want to see Hendon Hooker take a snap this year. But
let me talk to you.
If something terrible happens, like Jared Goff,
Yeah, don't even say it.
sprains his
We know what you mean. You got to say it.
rod and he has to miss a series.
Foot cancer.
I have faith that Hendon Hooker would be able to come in there and keep the ship afloat.
And you kind of been on that wave, too, the whole entire time.
Yeah.
Nick.
Yeah, I didn't really see anything that, kind of worried me besides the fact the only thing that worries me about this whole entire conversation is we got to keep our offensive line up front. Like, we need them to not get injured. And I keep coming back to this. Last year we had Graham Glasgow as that break glass in case of emergency offensive lineman who can play guard or center. Glasgow is now a starter on this team. We don't have that guy that I am comfortable with stepping up. That was like an eye-opening experience to me. Our second-string offensive line absolutely blows.
Yeah. I mean,
like, that scares me.
I will say this, though, like,
I don't think anybody has it going.
Odds, no one has a good backup line, and the odds are, like, that's like everybody has your backups, third-string guys. You're like bad. If you're missing just one guy, which we have in the past few years, obviously Frank's dealt with his injuries.
Yeah.
Dak's dealt with his injuries. We've kind of still held firm. But in a situation, you're absolutely right. If we lost all 4 or 5 guys, we would be fucking.
Everybody would die.
But it's not like
that's every team in the NFL.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
lose your entire starting offensive line.
Yeah, if you're missing one guy, like
Colby Sorsdale will look a lot better in between Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow than he would in between the 2 guys he was playing with in the preseason.
Bro, now outside of the Nick Hedberg rush, like Manu, just going back to last week and this week,
he looked a lot better.
So much better.
He looked a lot better, man.
So much better. Like in a short amount of time, that speaks like the amount of like the I guess the caliber of athlete he is. Like at that frame, that size, like to move around the way he does, but just to learn to have your body, have the muscle memory for certain things, the kickbacks. Obviously, I think obviously pass rushing is what he needs to work on the best. Pass blocking, I should say. Run blocking is pretty fucking easy when you're 6'7", 350 pounds, and you're running a 4.9 or whatever you ran at the combine. Explosive athlete he is, but yeah, and I think we said this on the show before too. The Dan Skipper stuff, where you have him out there as your extra guy or out there as like a tight end per se. This guy who actually has like basketball highlights out there in terms of Manu, like Giovanni
Manu, yeah.
Fucking put him in there. Put him as your fullback.
That's what I said when like the snaps I want to see Manu take are in that Dan Skipper role where he's the lead blocking pulling tackle.
Yeah.
And you get that big fucker in front of Gibbs or Montgomery.
And it's gonna happen
out on
too.
the edge because he's so athletic and so fast that he could keep up with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs out on that. Like, that would be scary to have this refrigerator running at you. Like,
Bro, him and Sewell?
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
That,
what are we doing?
Fourth and short running behind that on the right side.
Yeah.
Because you know it's going to happen. You know Dan's going to go for it.
We used to call it in high school. We had it was the Harley backfield is what we called it, where me and our other best lineman, Josh Leo, used to play up back, and we'd go in the backfield and lead block. Imagine that with Sewell and Manu. Just hitting the hole, leading the way for, fucking Gibbs or somebody.
The reason why I think we didn't see it this offseason because he has to learn the playbook, obviously play at the NFL level. But like as the season progresses, you're goddamn right they're going to do stuff like that with him. And that's what this team does. We've done it with Malcolm Rodriguez. We've done it with Dan Skipper. We've done it with Penei Sewell. We've done it with Taylor Decker. Like, they're going to get funky with this guy, especially the caliber of athlete he is and the size he has, too. Decker, remember, had more touchdown passes that one season or more catches than Kenny Galladay.
Yeah, he did.
I think it still might be true.
Taylor Decker's, man, they're very versatile up front. They got a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things very well. And again, shout out to Hank Fraley.
Yes.
Shout out to Ben Johnson for having those guys up to speed.
Somebody say it's nice to have the best insurance in the game.
It is.
With a Gio Manu. You guys get the best insurance for yourselves. Just call my guy Mark. Give him a call today. It's 313-530-1698. Or visit him, Mark mark@swissins.com. His email, that's 313-530-1698, or email him directly at mark@swissins.com.
Watch party.
And the watch party, of course, for every Lions game is going to be live at Hayes Social. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere, and the heavies for the live watch party. And then the post-game show immediately after the game with Stick and Anson, also at Hayes Social, presented by Sabbath Coffee Roasters. We're doing Lions coverage better than any other outlet in Detroit, and it isn't close. Make sure you tune in with us all year. It's going to be a great one.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Youth Football League in Metro Detroit. The Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League has 6 exciting teams to choose from for ages 5 to 14 in the locations of Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All coaches are trained, certified, and undergo background checks. You can register for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, and transportation are all included with the chance to play the championship at Ford Field for just $175 per child. Put the youth back in youth sports with BGCSM 3C Sports.
Hello.
Welcome back to Red Lights Live on WoodwardSports.com, the most classiest show on the Woodward Sports Network.
Oh, indubitably.
I'm Eazy, joined by Spin Morax, young Chris, Nicholas Kohloff.
Let's go.
We have Caleb, the color line in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Smash the like button, be friend, tell a friend, share the stream. Walking bets later this week.
Walking bets this week is hype.
Derek Klassen later this week. Say that's hype too.
Derek Klassen is hype as well. Sorry, I'm literally watching a Walking Bets video right now.
Oh, you sicko. She's elite.
She is elite.
She is elite.
She's got the market cornered.
She does have the market cornered.
I can start doing that.
Nick's pulling a few more clips from his interview with TJ Lang. But there's some breaking Tigers news. Javi Baez done for the year?
Yes. Javi Baez had hip surgery. He's done for the year per Evan Pressold. Cool. Like, just never mind. I don't want to get too dark with it, but just ship him out. Like, old Yeller him. Not literally, but like get him out of Detroit forever.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to comment on because obviously that sucks. Like, you don't want anybody to get hurt.
Yeah.
Ever, but you know, like these.
Damn.
Yeah. Like he's it's just now we get to see Sweeney play more, and now we get to see, you know, I guess this could be the latter half of the year could be another Zach McKinstry tryout, I guess. Who's been playing? He's been playing pretty well lately. But yeah, you know, obviously you never want to see anybody get hurt, but
oh darn.
Yes.
Rats.
Yep.
No, realistically, I'm sure he's a decent human being, so I hope his surgery goes well and he is healthy and playing baseball for a different team next year.
Breaking news.
Hopefully, like the Royals or something. So
Neil Rule.
Strike him out all the time. Is the doctor.
Neil Rule tours Achilles, celebrating in the streets.
Yeah.
Dancing in the streets. It is what it is, man. Roster down to 79 from our guy Poole doing the count. The Detroit Lions won't make anything official until tomorrow at 4 p.m., in which we'll have Derek Klassen on too, because he's pretty good with the stuff like that. He's going to talk to us about the rest of the NFC North as well. Although you guys peep that guy, the former Packers like third string quarterback, who he's been put out there multiple times now. The Packers and the Bears, that they're going to win the North. I got to get that guy on the show. How does that happen? Explain to me how in hell does that happen?
That was.
I just need to act like
Because
I'll hear you out.
It was probably your burner.
I'm the guy that says, I'm the guy that has Jordan Love ranked over JG, just straight up. And I love JG. But I can't fucking imagine that happening at all. I just can't see it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I just, like, it would have to be an injury story or something along those lines.
So was this an analyst or a player?
He's now an analyst. I mean, I think he works for Underdog. Let me find his name real quick. I just replied to him a little bit earlier before the show.
Guy's a bum.
I was going to make
truly kind of a bum. Yeah, I don't want to just,
I'll disrespect him. Come on.
Yeah, he played.
Relax, Nick.
No, go for it, Nick. He played for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, we're clearly.
He played for the Packers? Oh, fuck that guy, dude. What?
Yeah.
Come on. Take your
He
heart.
works for Sleeper.
Yeah. Those guys just
Who
hire
knows
anybody. No, but I mean, like I said it on Friday, there are 4 offenses that I would easily take over the Packers. I think the Packers are going to have a good offense. Don't get me wrong. But we talked about it. I think Justin said it. Like, they don't have a top 10 anybody. Running back, or a top 5 anybody. Whether it be quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end, offensive line. Not a single one of those position groups or position players are top 5. Probably not a single one of their individual offensive linemen are top 5. So I don't know how you could say that. I like the depth. I like them as a unit. I could see a top 10 maybe offense out of the Packers. I think they're going to be good, but number 1 is just absolutely throating for throat's sake. Like,
hey, I'm not judging. Just like to shoot
I know
straight.
4, like off the top of my head, there are
That's
4
terrible.
offenses that I'm putting over them, and that is the Detroit Lions, the San Francisco 49ers, the Houston Texans, the Miami Dolphins. I'm putting the Eagles over them. I put KC over them. I'd put Cincinnati over them. Like, I don't understand that, man.
I just shot him a DM.
Ask him if he can fight.
That's one of the first replies
Can you
I had
fight,
to him.
Pete?
Doesn't matter if you have one
Kurt,
ass cheek
I don't
or
know
3
if we'll get him on the
toes.
show
Fight Kurt
because
your
one of my
ass.
replies to him was like, "I'll fight you right now." So we'll see. Wasn't very professional of me, but I mean, he's an athlete. He probably took it in good spirit. Guys talk shit.
Yeah, for sure. We're not
Some.
actually going to fight him unless it's Adam Rank.
I do know some former athletes, though, that aren't really good at taking the talk shit.
Yeah, for sure. So, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Shout out.
Trinity Benson.
Shout
Trinity
out.
Well, that was
Benson.
his people. That wasn't him. Yeah.
Speaking about JG Love,
But Monty Jones blocked me on Twitter because I called him a clown.
I thought you said the N-word that time.
No, I did not. And don't say that time like it happens often or at all. But no, I said like, bro, you're such a clown. But I was saying it like he's funny, not like he's a clown.
I know it started with this. Oh, it was cool. You said.
I know.
Clown.
Nope, didn't say that either.
Will you 3-cam the Dan video?
Bro.
Since we're talking about the JG Love.
Yeah, give me a second. That was
for all
wild.
the cancer stuff.
That's fair. That's way fucking more aggressive than me saying you think a guy's a
But you got it
cancer.
multiple times.
Yeah, bro, you call people that word. No, that's not okay.
I'm just kidding. He didn't do that.
Thank you.
He definitely didn't.
Thanks for the cash app.
All right, here
Don't
we
use
go.
that word.
Here we
I'm
go.
not
Straight
Nick.
cash,
9. So the phrasing I use or the way I describe it is quarterbacks you win because of. There's a high amount of quarterbacks that teams win with.
Purdy
in the
is
NFL, but
crazy,
because
dude.
of, and it's broken down into 2 different places. There's 9. The 2 guys that were tough
He's
to
elite
leave off,
because of his offense,
both
not because of him.
Jalen Hurts and Jordan Love. Jordan just got to see a little bit more. I think he's right on that verge.
Jalen
And then
Hurts and Jordan Love, you said? You
just
didn't
want to see what he
mention
looks
Goff
like
in
this
the
year
honorable
coming
mentions?
back in with Kellen Moore as his play
No
caller,
Goff.
3rd offensive quarter in 3 years. Win because
Who's
of
Stephen A.
is
upset
broken
over?
down into 2 separate
Dak.
things. 1, we win the game even though our
was
defense
Dak
gave up
on
a
there?
ton of points. Whether
No.
it's 26,
Dak
28,
should
30,
be.
like we find a way to win more often than not because of you. Or we're hurt on offense, we're
I'd put
missing
Dak over
receivers, or our offensive line's beat up, and we find a way to win the game because of you. Those are the two kind of the criteria that they're put into, and I think there's 9 of them.
And he only had one legitimate receiver.
You cut it.
You cut it. You got his explanation. Anything else, just you guys listen to Stevie A, just be Stephen A. He don't really ever give actual takes.
Where do you get off, Daniel? I love when he calls him Daniel, dude. That shit's so funny.
Now, we love you.
Yeah.
Take Brock Purdy off this list, and we're fine.
I love when he calls him Daniel. That shit makes me laugh every time.
Honestly. That's where I'm. Just take Purdy off, and we're good to go. Outside of that, I get where he's going in terms of elite, the top tier, or at least as close as it gets to it. Purdy doesn't belong on that list.
Yeah, no, Purdy does not belong on that list.
He's on a team that's done it without the same exact results
with porn star Jimmy.
Yeah, he cannot be on this list.
No. If you were an elite quarterback and you play for the 49ers, we'll know, because you'll set records. You'll be the greatest.
Yeah.
You'll look like the greatest quarterback of all time. If Kyle Shanahan had Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson in that offense, they would be putting up numbers that nobody has ever seen before. He's making Jimmy Garoppolo look like a good quarterback and Brock Purdy look elite. I like Brock and his skill set, but he is not an elite quarterback. I know. He is an elite offensive system is what he is in.
Yeah.
And he's a good quarterback.
And I like Brock
There's nothing
Purdy.
wrong with that.
Yes. I have him and JG probably the same tier of guys.
I
But
would agree with that.
He is not above he's not that much more above JG. He's just not elite.
No.
That's just where I'm at. And anybody listening, I think I don't even want to get this deep into it because I don't want to turn that type of conversation. But we know what JG is too. He's good. He's very good. Is he amongst these class of guys? No. But there's nothing wrong with that because we are in the best situation for him to win and become that Tom Brady type, the Peyton Manning type. Those guys weren't necessarily flashy or doing amazing things, but they made it happen. They made it work regardless.
The Lions have a new long snapper. They're cutting Scott Daly and going with Hogan Hatton.
Let's go! For real?
Yeah.
I was talking about that with Dion yesterday. We kind of argued about it because
really?
Because Daly is like a OG, known around the league. Hatton, I don't know if you peeped this. He played linebacker for us in preseason.
Yeah.
The long snapper.
He gets down the field.
Played linebacker.
Yeah.
Linebacker reps against New York, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he can get down the fild on those punts.
I was like, that's a Dan Campbell long snapper.
Smack somebody, yeah.
Yeah. But then somebody asked too,
Jamie
was
texted me 6 times. Are you really going to have her on?
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Did you really say that?
Relax, bro.
All day.
Gotta be.
Yeah, I just want to clown Dan a little bit there. Even though I like Dan. He's probably one of the better guys.
Dan's really good.
Yeah.
Dan's really good. But yeah, the Brock Purdy's not elite.
We got more Lion stuff when we get back. Plus, I saw in the chat already, we got Nick's interview with DJ Lang and our fantasy draft. I saw Wilson already in the chat. I'm chirping about how many NFC North guys I got in my squad. You'll see.
Did he have Stafford on that list? I apologize.
He did.
He did?
Yes.
Figures.
Go ahead. No, go off.
Oh, yeah. He's a
No,
Stafford,
he just
he's
likes
a Stafford thrower for sure.
Can't really hear him with all that,
I'm cool with Stafford on the list.
I am too.
You just knew. I just figured he was going to be on the list. Sorry, I was cutting something up in here.
Come on.
Tell us about Mark White.
Here.
Mark White.
Mark White gonna do you right. Give him a call today or visit him at markwhitesells.com. But most importantly, call him directly. Tell him the heavyweight sent you. He can save you up to $5,000 in your closing costs. Just dial 248-290-8242. Again, visit markwhitesells.com or 248-290-8242. Save you up to $5,000 in those closing costs.
The countdown to kickoff is here. Your Detroit Lions are ready for another season of grit. Woodward Sports is your #1 destination for all breaking news and Lions coverage. We are Detroit's #1 sports network. We are Woodward Sports.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had the spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports. make sure it's seen and heard. Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, the same great service customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today and find the brands you want at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford, together. Let's ride.
If Purdy has the same career path Goff, he'll be Hall of Fame.
Who said that?
Is that true?
Who said that?
A tour.
Not unless Goff wins the Super Bowl, which we think he will.
Is Jared Goff a Hall of Fame quarterback as of
right now? No. But with the way I think his career is going to continue, yes.
Yeah, if you win a Super Bowl.
You win a Super Bowl.
You win a Super Bowl for the Detroit Lions, you're goddamn.
We broke down his stats too, where he's pretty close to being in that conversation. If you give him another 5-6 years of this production, then yeah. But no, if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, no.
Yeah, look up all-time passing records. I know we're looking at Eli Manning. Actually, I'll just go off of Eli Manning.
Eli Manning's insane, though. That's what we discovered.
Yeah.
We
Top
all
10
disrespect
everything.
Eli Manning. Yeah.
However, Stafford's gonna bump him out this year.
Yeah.
That's like 4 games. All right, will you pull up Jared Goff's career numbers?
Sure.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many years Goff been in the league? 8.
He's been in the league since 2016. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep. This is his 9th year.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Eli's first 8 years. I guess different.
It's different eras.
Different era too. That's fair. How many touchdown passes does JG have?
82. Oh no, that's interception. Sorry, 185.
That's so crazy. Eli Manning has 185 touchdowns.
No way.
Swear to God. Interceptions. Jared Goff only has 82.
82.
Eli Manning had 129.
God damn.
His first 8 years.
By the number.
I'm assuming Goff has more more yards.
He's got 30,000, almost 30,500. He's got 3 Pro Bowls, no All Pros.
Eli Manning 27,000. So Eli Manning in the
It's a
Hall of
different
Fame.
era though. That is
different
true.
era. Yeah.
64% completion percentage. 64.7. How many attempts did Eli Manning have?
Let me pull it back up. I just here we go.
I think Caleb and I brought this up last time.
Goff for sure has more attempts, but Eli Manning had 3,332.
Yeah, Goff has 4,100.
Yeah, Goff had the most by like 20 last year attempts.
He led the league. No, not last year, but in 2019 he led the league
in attempts.
Yeah.
No, oh sorry, JJ was second last year to Sam Howell.
Yeah.
But still, I think at 4 and 10.
He had 605 attempts last year.
Oh yeah, I think at completions.
He had 407 completions.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. What were you saying, Nick? I apologize.
If he wins a Super Bowl as a Lion, it holds weight. Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah.
Like just a Lions history in itself would just permit that Super Bowl.
Giants run game was sick, man. Made that Brandon Jacobs and Rashard Mendenhall, I think, or who's the other?
Tiki Barber.
Tiki Barber.
Not for the Super Bowl.
Who was 44?
Did you already say Brandon Jacobs?
Brandon Jacobs is 28.
Yes.
Bradshaw. Nice pull.
Bob Bradshaw, right?
Yeah.
Fellas, talking
There's
Super
a defensive
Bowls.
line that was set nasty.
Yeah, dude. O.C. Umenyiora, Justin Tugg,
Chris Canty,
JPP,
Michael Strahan.
Yeah, dude, they were insane.
They come out in droves.
It's ready.
Let's go.
Talking about Super Bowls and question marks, let's see what TJ Lang has to think about the biggest question mark on this team.
I'm super excited about it. One of the biggest question marks for this team is that defense, and I think they need to take a step up if this team wants to make a Super Bowl run. What is the biggest question mark still on that defense to you?
I don't know if it's a question mark, but the secondary, we just haven't really seen him. We haven't seen him play in the preseason, and I don't think we've really seen him practice all together. There's been a couple guys, 1 or 2 guys nicked up at at different times, right? So I don't think Aaron Glenn has had a full complement of those players yet at his disposal to see in practice how they're going to play. So I think that it's going to take some time. You obviously got some young players in Carlton Davis, a new player, Amik Robinson, new player. It's going to take time, much like the offensive line. It takes time to build that chemistry. So I think hopefully throughout the next couple weeks of practice before the Rams come in, look, if they can try to gel and get some chemistry down in that secondary and figure out, I think they really feel good about 6 or 7 guys. They just don't know the combination of where they want to play them yet. So I think if they can figure that out heading into week 1 and not maybe figure it out week 3 or week 4, the better off they're going to be.
Jared Goff is under 12% this year. Our 12% of the team salary cap space. I'm sorry. Stars are lying. Super Bowl's coming. Phenomenal point by TJ Lang, and I'm glad it was made by TJ Lang because we've heard these things before, but it's always better to hear it from an NFL player, a guy that has experience in the locker rooms, a guy that has experience in the game itself. And yeah, he is right. I've heard it multiple times now too. You need a little bit of cohesiveness in that secondary. Matter of fact, Darius Fountain, a guy who's probably not expecting to make the team, came off an 80-yard touchdown on both Terron Arnold and Carlton Davis. This is your number 1 and 2 cornerbacks because of miscommunication. I didn't even fucking think about that. But I'm still not pressed over it because last year's secondary was so fucking bad, Smith.
Yeah.
It was so bad. This has to be somewhat of an upgrade on top of the defensive line being better.
It was the worst in the league. Cam Sutton fucking stinks. The dude literally was the worst cornerback in the NFL last year. He let up the most yards by anybody. Like, he gave up the most yards in the NFL last year. It was over 600. So having guys better than Cam Sutton, which is not hard, is going to be an improvement. Having Brian Branch back in that back end full time is going to be improvement. Having that defensive line being more cohesive and more attacking on the quarterback is going to be an improvement. Having a coach back there outside of Dre Bly is going to be improvement. Like, there are a lot of discerning factors that mean that show that this defensive back room and secondary in general are going to be more fierce than they were last year. And again, that's not saying much because they were the worst secondary in the NFL last year. But you give them a middle-of-the-pack secondary and you got a top 10 defense.
The defensive line for me is going to make up for it. And it's going to take some time, and they're going to have to learn everything, learn each other's tendencies, what they're great at, what they can let go and let loose of. However, again, the defensive line itself is going to help these guys get that done. The defensive line itself is going to take care of some of the quarterback situation, just sacking the quarterback or forcing bad throws, off-platform throws for the guys that can't do it. Some guys obviously still able to make those throws, but no, I understand that's a thing, and I agree that it is a thing. However, last year's secondary was so bad that I'm not pressed over it.
That's why I'm not worried at all, because you just brought in 4 players that are more talented than your starters last season in my eyes, and Terrion, Raxter, Amik, and Carlton Davis. So I'm not concerned at all, especially with the upgrades that we have on the defensive line. Aleem in the contract year, Hutchinson taking a massive step that we all think he's going to in his 3rd year in the NFL. I'm not worried about this cornerback room, but like TJ Lang said, hopefully they can get it figured out in the next 2 weeks compared to figuring it out by week 3. And I think they will, honestly. Absolutely. And everyone's back healthy too, right?
I mean, I'd say at least I'd even extend to the bye week. And I'm by the way, still fine with that. And this the first week, I already told you guys if you missed it earlier, the Rams will be missing both their starting tackles. Both of them things. And
maybe Jonah Jackson too.
I guess he's playing, they said.
Yeah, we'll see.
However, still banged up.
Heard that story before.
Yeah, actually, you're right. We've dealt with Jonah Jackson specifically.
Yeah, literally.
Concerned about
specifically.
Concerned about the secondary, Caleb? He doesn't have any.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
clipping
something.
He's doing his job,
You're
man.
Good. So basically, TJ Lane was saying there's not enough cohesiveness in the backfield or in the secondary to expect great things right away. We're kind of saying, I mean, at least I'm saying I'm not stressed over it because the defensive line and the secondary last year was just so bad that it's got to be better regardless.
I think you added so much talent there, and I think Aaron Glenn does a good job of kind of letting talented guys be talented, if that makes sense. Like he's going to let Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, all those guys, Brian Branch do their thing. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, their chemistry with each other is going to grow throughout the season. So they're going to look better as the season goes. There might be a little shaky moments in the beginning, especially because there's a lot of young guys there. But no, I'm not worried about the secondary at all. It's like you said, Eazy, because of the defensive line. I think that's going to help them a lot. And And yeah, I think they're going to be. I'll say I think the secondary is going to be a big reason why we win some football games this year.
I think so too. I think they're going to turn over the ball a lot. Like, the defensive line is going to force quicker throws. It's going to force the quarterback to have to make tougher decisions. And we know that these two guys on the outside, in Terrion Arnold and Carlton Davis, stay attached to receivers very well. And we know you've got two playmakers in the back end in Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch. So I expect that defense to create a lot of takeaways, especially in that secondary.
When we get back, we do have our fantasy teams. I saw Wilson already asking, already chirping how many MC North guys do I have on my team. I actually don't know off the top of my head.
I think. I know I got Keenan Allen.
Yeah, I do got one for sure.
I got Keenan Allen. I think that's it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. We'll find out when we get back. But first, tell us about the Boys and Girls Club.
Merch.
That merch. I will tell you where to get the best Detroit sports merch in the game. Go to woodwardsports.com, click that shop tab today. They got hoodies, tees, hats, all that guaranteed to turn heads. So head on over to woodwardsports.com, click that shop tab today, and get yourself some fresh, brand new Detroit sports merch.
The game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists. Enjoy a precision haircut, hot lather neck shave, scalp and neck massage, and a hot towel treatment to top it off. Enter for your chance to win the $50,000 Perfect Bracket Challenge. With more than 25 Metro Detroit locations, there's always a Lady Jane's near you. Lady Jane's Haircut for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury insight. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, you put up however you want, Chris. I don't know if we labeled them or
all right, well, we'll put up the worst first. Let's see here. All right.
The worst first.
Who's
That's
that?
me. Definitely not the worst. I hate. It's honestly.
You got a good bench, man.
Your running backs questionable.
Nah, Jerome Ford and Chase Brown off the bench.
Yeah, I think Chase Brown will break out.
Dude, why do you love running backs so much?
Jerome Ford, me?
You just know they're going to
Nick.
get the carries. You don't have to rely on the quarterback to get the ball to him.
Listen, how did you guys let me get Garrett Wilson and A.J. Brown?
Because you had back-to-back picks?
No, I didn't.
Or you had 11 and
yeah.
2. Pretty much back-to-back picks.
When that happened, was it live? Was anybody like, whoa, what the fuck?
No.
No.
I was happy with my
This guy just tried to stroke his own ego so hard.
Garrett Wilson and A.J. Brown's a fucking
That's what happens
W.
when you're in the back of drafts is you those.
You get to load up.
Those
back-to-back
two guys.
boys.
Yeah.
I'm number one in my big money league. Not a fan of that, but we'll make it.
Number one?
I love that.
I mean, Flannel drafted a pretty good team.
Flannel actually did really well.
Even though he took Patrick Mahomes in the 3rd round.
He did. He still did really well.
The only reason you should take Pat Mahomes in the 3rd is if you have Kelsey.
He loves Patrick Mahomes. He took him in the 1st round last year.
There's only 2 guys I don't like on my team. Well, I'm questionable about Komet, although he's gotten reps or receptions from Caleb in both games they started.
Yeah.
And then I'm also Najee Harris. Like I feel like I'm not upgrade there. But
Najee
Jerome Ford
sucks.
and Chase Brown.
Jalen Warren's way better than Najee Harris.
Yeah. But also Arthur Smith, maybe he likes. I feel like he likes the bigger body guys better. We'll see. I think I'm gonna start Jerome Ford week 1.
Okay. All right.
Over Najee.
I'll throw up next.
Jerome
Let's
Ford
see.
or Chase Brown?
Yeah, maybe Chase Brown, huh?
I like Chase Brown. I wanted Chase Brown.
Next up, we got.
Guy.
You know who it is. You can tell by the quarterback.
This is my team. I honestly don't know what I did. Like I normally like to load up on wide receivers. I guess I did kind of. But I got Nico Collins, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin, and Keenan Allen. And then my running back situation, I said if if James Conner's compromised immune system starts to act up, I could have 4 running back ones on this team. With Breece Hall and Rachaad White. Breece Hall and Rachaad White are going to be money makers for me this year in PPR. It's a PPR league, so both of those guys get like at least 5 catches a game. And then I got the Stroud Collins stack. The only pick I didn't like that I ended up realizing that I have 3 Titans, but I'm not really going to play Okonwu or Tyler Boyd very often. I just grabbed them because they were best available at the spot I was picking.
Yeah, I think the only maybe receiver, but not even.
Yeah.
You're straight.
Yeah, no, I like the team for sure.
You stole Breece from me.
Yeah.
I was actually so upset.
I was going to take Bijan, but Bijan went right before me, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted Breece so bad.
I got 3rd pick here coming up, boys. Bijan or Breece?
Dude, take
Bijan.
Yeah, take Jettas. I'm big on. You'll see.
This wide receiver class is so deep this season.
Who's Tyreek Hill? Is Tyreek Hill there?
Nobody's as deep as Justin Jefferson. Pause.
Is Tyreek or CD there?
He's major one.
If CD's there, you have to take CD.
Chris, throw me up.
No, I'm taking Jettas, dude. He got 1,000 yards last year in 10 games with Nick fucking Mullins.
Well, here's Nick fucking Booth Boy. Microwave right here.
Yeah, Nick thinks this is the greatest team ever assembled. Yeah.
Yes. All right, so Saquon, Derrick Henry, Cooper Kupp, Pickens, your guy.
Cooper Kupp, that's why it's the best team
Mark
ever.
Andrews, K9. I mean, you think about just those running backs, dude. They're all going to put up like 1,500 total yards and like 10 to 15 touchdowns.
Yeah, we'll see Derrick Henry if he lasts.
If him and Saquon, that could be elite right there. Jaden Daniels is going to rush for 800 yards. And then you got the long shots in McConkey and
McConkey.
And think if A-Chain goes down, Mostert's like the most valuable backup running back in the game.
That is true. You should definitely name your team McConkey.
McConkey. All right, coming at you.
McConkey Cup.
I named my team Houston. We are the problem. Nice. They got Collins and
last up.
God damn.
I like it. Chat, tell me I won already.
I didn't even peep you at the
Tell me I won.
Yeah.
That's a W.
Collins and Stroud.
That's your
Hey,
team.
I gotta ask, were you guys a little bit scared once I got Saquon and Derrick Henry back to back?
No. But I don't know what to expect out of Derrick Henry. Kenneth Walker, though, I'm very high on.
Yeah, K9 should have a good year.
Shout
Spartan
out.
dog.
I'm so surprised that he's ranked so low. Everything that's been
crazy.
coming out of camp is like they're gonna use him in the pass game a lot more.
And he was amazing, bro. I'll never forget the Lions game week 2. He had the best 4-yard runs I've ever seen in my life. Multiple broken tackles. What the Lions
DNC says Spenny thinks the Titans are gonna have one of the best offenses in the league. I'm probably not gonna play either of those guys ever. You look at Okonwu or Tyler Boyd.
However, though, they'll be
filler
passing a fuck ton because they don't really have any running backs, and they'll probably be losing a lot of games.
Yeah. And Tyler Boyd's good.
All right, Caleb's team. Caleb, how you feeling about your team?
Caleb the colorblind.
I'm not kidding when I say this.
You have the best team ever or something.
Yeah.
No, I'm genuinely
the way
serious.
He hit the chat.
There's no way you think that.
Dude, so my whole plan was going running back, back to back, because like Nick said, the wide receiver depth, it's there. I can't really see it that well, but yeah. Kyler and Trey McBride, that's
I like that.
Kyler and Trey McBride, that's a league-winning stack right there.
Right, okay.
It is.
That's
just wait.
insane.
Just wait.
That was a wild statement.
I took Trey McBride in the fourth for a reason.
Kyler Murray averages 26 fantasy points before Call of Duty comes out.
Yeah.
And after Call of Duty comes out, he averages 19.
Yeah, cool.
That's confirmed.
But he knows that he's on my team now and he's locked in.
He said cool.
I did reach out to him. Amari Cooper, I'm high on Amari Cooper. Everybody always sleeps on Amari Cooper.
I love Amari Cooper.
Everyone always sleeps on him.
Easy hated on me because I loved Amari Cooper so much.
He was bad for me when I had him.
I like Amari Cooper.
No, I said he was one of the best he's the best route runner in the league.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
Honestly, I hate my bench. I mean,
no.
That went in.
Swift.
Sounded like it.
Did.
Anthony Richardson, Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown, Kamara.
I don't like Kamara.
You don't like Kamara?
No.
Well,
why?
I don't know.
What do you mean? PPR?
Yeah,
Kamara?
I just think he's kind of washed.
He was amazing last year when he came back. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but
what?
Well,
I don't know. I just got a spenny feeling.
Easy, I do.
I had Kamara. Kamara won me leagues before. I had Kamara in his prime.
He looked great last year too.
So I just got a Spenny feeling.
Easy, I do want to apologize,
Shout out
man to man,
Walking
for
Bets.
taking A.D. Mitchell. He was right there.
Yeah,
for
that
me.
was fucked
He was
up.
right there for me.
And
He
you
was-
you would have taken him if I ain't gassed him up.
No,
I knew
you
I
didn't.
should've
You
waited.
didn't put me onto him.
Yeah.
But he
I knew I
is
should've
your
waited.
guy. He is your guy, and I feel bad, and I feel like someone in this room has to give me an apology. I'm gonna wait for them to do that. Regarding the quarterbacks.
Well,
that'll do it for us today.
Oh,
Caleb, I'm your fucking biggest fan now when it comes to Jaden Daniels. Let's
still
go.
be alive right now.
Yeah,
if
but
you
you grabbed
can
Kyler Murray
gas him
early,
up.
didn't you? You grabbed him before you grabbed Jaden.
Yeah, I
Daniels.
needed Jaden Daniels. Like,
Knew
I
I
actually
packed
needed
him
There's
a
other
quarterback.
guys there.
Gas or what?
Which, by the way, Nick,
There's
because he
other guys
runs,
there.
actually might
I
pan
got
out for you.
piss. Let's do this. Okay. Goodbye. Thank you for.
I said good day.
Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash the like button.
75 receptions last year for Kamara.
Yeah.
All right.
What we doing?
For Eazy, for Nick, for Caleb,
Well-
for Chris, I'm Spencer
Well-
with the Heavyweights. Catch you guys tomorrow.
See you later.
Peace. Oh God, I gotta piss.